us today. Oh, it does. All right.
Hey, there it is.
What's up, motherfuckers? Welcome to the Keyboard Warriors. My name's Eddie Law. That's Jesse Wakawa. That's Fred Kirby. We're presented by RepresentRepTheWarriors.com. Yeah. So what's up, motherfuckers? So I guess we didn't talk about Wilder Fury last week, did we?
Well, it hadn't happened. Shit.
Well, we talked about like upcoming,
happen?
and because we had so much MMA and fights to discuss,
Right.
but let's I want to hear Fred, because Fred is like the big boxing head here among us, right? He's like the bigger fan of boxing than all of us combined here.
Right. So let me just set it up real quick. So obviously Wilder Fury was this last Saturday. There was 2 UFC events this last weekend. There was 2 Bellator events this last weekend, and Wilder vs. Fury. And I think there was like 2 other things on there, smaller MMA shows, I believe. So there's all kinds of shit you could have watched. LFA was on, all that shit, right? So, but the one that got a lot of attention was obviously Wilder Fury. Probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest fight that an American heavyweight fighter was involved in God knows how long.
The biggest heavyweight boxing match in a month of Sundays.
Right, especially with an American in it. We haven't had an American heavyweight fighter other than Wilder, but in a big fight like this. So, your thoughts on that, Fred?
Okay, so listen, let me preface this by saying that I know this is the unpopular opinion. Okay, you understand me? I know the logical parts of my brain know that Tyson Fury won that fight. Okay, Tyson Fury won that boxing competition. Okay, that's what I feel happened. Right. Now I'll explain what I mean by that. Tyson Fury obviously won more. First off, did you guys watch the fight?
So I watched it yesterday. I found a copy of it totally legally and watched it. So yeah, I finally got to see it.
Jesse, have you watched the fight?
Yeah, I watched it a couple times, and honestly, I watched it specifically several times because of something I want to talk to you about Brendan Schaub. But go ahead.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, now, granted, I only watched it the one time. I have not watched it again. I just watched it live. Now, I know that Tyson Fury outboxed Deontay, and he definitely won more rounds. You could even make the point that the only 2 rounds that Deontay won were the 2 rounds where he knocked Tyson Fury down. And in a weird way, I'm willing to go along with that. And here's where it gets shaky, where I completely contradict myself, and I don't give a fuck. Everybody can suck my dick. This is our podcast. I am okay with the draw because the only 2 times that fight looked like it was even close to being stopped, especially in the 12th round, was when Deontay flatlined Tyson. Tyson Fury, to bring it home to our MMA pundits, had a very John Fitch-like performance, a very GSP-like performance where it was very dominant, but he never really had the other guy close to getting out of there. Whereas Deontay Wilder had a very Anthony Johnson-esque performance twice in the fight, at least one time where I still don't know how the fuck Tyson got up in that 12th round. Now, I understand that one good punch does not win you the fight. Fair enough. I get that. When we were doing the 10-point must system, you're going to win. Tyson should have won that fight on points. I'm okay with it being a draw because he almost finished him at least once, real fucking close to finish him, but he knocked him down twice where Tyson Fury never even really wobbled Deontay Wilder. He won the fight on points, but he never really had him hurt. So I know the general consensus is that Tyson Fury should have won that fight. And quite frankly, I guess at the end of the day, I'm willing to give you that. I'm not mad at the draw because that fucking knockdown in the 12th round was crazy. And he actually hurt him in the 4th round, I think, is when he knocked him down the first time, which wasn't nowhere near as good as that second knockdown. But none the fucking less, I'm also an unbiased fucking Deontay Wilder fan. My opinion on this should be taken with a grain of salt because I'm looking at it through those fucking lenses. But that was my opinion on the fight. All that being said, shout out to Tyson Fury. He's a lot better than I thought he was. He's a very, very good boxer. Fat tub of shit surprised the fuck out of me. What the fuck? I'm still ashamed that we got to call him the heavyweight champion because he looks like a fucking fat, overgrown baby. But the cute cocksucker can box his tits off. So you got to give credit where it's due, man. He's a lot better boxer than I thought he was. He was even toying with Deontay to keep it a buck.
Well, he stung him too.
He did stun him a couple times, but not horribly. Like
Yeah,
I never felt like
yeah.
Deontay was close to getting knocked down per se. Okay, so give it to me, Jesse. I'm curious. What do you and the Shab Meister think about this? I haven't heard that fucking cute little prick.
Yeah, you're gonna love this.
All right. So Shab is over here saying that Wilder won the fight.
Oh, get the fuck out. Okay.
Yeah.
See, Jesus Christ. Somebody's always got to go crazy with it. I'm willing to concede the draw, but Jesus Christ.
But here's the thing, Fred. And I think this should be the destruction of his credibility moving forward, because he is a Showtime guy. His show is on Showtime.com. And now he's advocating for a guy who works for Showtime. You know, and all his insider information he gets from the Showtime president or the guy that runs Showtime. Espinoza, right?
That piece of
That's
shit.
who he always credits as his source.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my thing. I agree with Fred. I've seen it several times, and you know, I could make the argument for Tyson Fury winning the fight, but I can also see the draw, and I could be much more comfortable with the draw, seeing as how, like Fred explained, you know, the 2 knockdowns, that was the most significant punch that happened in the fight. But Wilder, I just don't know how that scorecard comes about where it's a win for him. I just don't see it at all. And Shab is over here telling people that, you know, you must be dumb, or you know, you must be like, you know, trying to see too much for the underdog, that you're blind and you can't see how Tyson Fury won that fight, or I mean, Wilder won that fight, or you know, it's a draw. At worst, he says it's a draw for him, and that's ridiculous. So here's my thing: if anybody here or anybody, you know, listening out there is a Brendan Schaub fan, you guys can go kick rocks, and I hope this has to tell you something. That this guy, all he cares about is who's paying him. So you cannot listen to his opinion anymore. It doesn't matter what his opinion is, because it's always going to be laced with who's paying him. That's it.
Listen. Again, I am a massive Deontay Wilder fan who admits his own bias for the man. I can't argue him winning the fight, Jack. I mean, you know, I'm willing to give him the draw. Like I just to keep it a buck. If he hadn't hit him with that fucking lightning bolt in the 12th round, that horse shit knockdown in the 4th round wouldn't have been enough to win him the fight. Just keeping it a buck. But he flatlined him in that 12th round. Like he showed why he was there. And, you know, most of the fight, he kind of looked like a dummy. To keep it a buck, Tyson was making him kind of look silly. Finally, in that 12th round, he gave us a glimpse of like why he was there in the first place. Like if he does just connect one time, he can starch this fool. And that was enough to give me the draw. And to be honest, I'm probably being way too fair with that. Saying that Deontay won the fight, that's wild. That's a wild thing to say right there.
It's bold.
Yeah.
Not just bold, it's dumb. I mean,
it's ridiculous. It is.
You're that, what is it? You're that judge that saw it for him. You know, you're just dumb. You don't know what you're looking at. And you calling yourself an expert or an analyst, that doesn't work for me anymore, man. Like you can't say you're an analyst or a pundit or a reporter or any of those things and call it the way he's calling it. And that's what pisses me off, because he has a huge following of people that are out there advocating for what he's saying. Oh, no, you guys are stupid. Look, and then they repost his little stupid little thing that he does, his little video. That's how I saw it. All these people posting this stupid ass video of him, you know, sitting there proclaiming that everybody that didn't see it the way he saw it is stupid. Like, no, you're the dumbass one.
Well, yeah.
Okay, that's Brandon Schaub. That's classic Brandon fucking Schaub. Does, oh, you're an idiot. I'm not an idiot. You're an idiot. And that's how it's gonna go. And he knows what he's doing. First of all, he fucking knows exactly what he's doing. You know, he to him, controversy. You know, that's why he's a big Conor fan. Controversy and talking shit and all that is huge for him. And it's work. That film has worked for him, right? Like he gets more viewers the dumber he goes, right? So, real quick on YouTube comments. Okay. What up?
Yeah, go ahead. No, I was just gonna say, but does that work for you in the long run when you're selling your credibility that way? Like in the long run, that's gonna hurt you, right? Or it should hurt you,
right? But if we're looking at it as entertainment and not analysis, you know what I mean? Like Skip Bayless still has a job. Stephen A. Smith has a job. And we've all heard those two motherfuckers say some outlandish shit. You know what I mean? Like some ridiculous shit. Like Skip Bayless to this day believes, huh?
Nate Diaz with his sumo wrestling.
Right, Nate Diaz is a sumo wrestler according to Skip Bayless. Right. Okay, so yeah, it'll be fine. If you're looking at it if you're looking for Brendan Schaub for analysis of anything, you're looking at the wrong place. If you're looking for entertainment, him to say some dumb shit or whatever, and get Brian Callen to go on a show and whatever the fuck, maybe like just watch him shoot the shit with a special guest, go for it.
Right.
But you can't look to him for analysis. It's not going to happen.
But that's my point.
Right.
That he's the one proclaiming himself as an analyst. He's saying that people should listen to him and go to him for this analysis. And before back in the day, when I used to listen to it, it was very good analysis, very good, actual breakdown of the fights.
That didn't get him a job at Showtime.
Right. But now he can't keep saying that he's an analyst. He can't keep saying that he's a pundit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I totally agree. And now you know why I say nobody in MMA media can call themselves journalists either.
Yeah.
Especially not after today. All right. I don't know if you guys heard anything on Twitter, but that there was though it was straight up said on Twitter from someone that was at the fucking presser or whatever, and wherever there was they were asking fighters questions, they were not allowed to ask about anything other than the fights this weekend. And for basically saying, don't ask us about Greg fucking Hardy. And you know what these journalists did? They actually listened to this fucking idiot. All right. You think anybody? You think who's the dude? The guy that used to always interview Muhammad Ali, Cosell. Howard Cosell. You think Howard Cosell gave a fuck what Muhammad Ali didn't want to talk about? No. He asked him every question. You know what I mean? Walter Cronkite went out on stories and not ask questions. I mean, shit like that. Like, come on, doc. So no, we need to change this thing. Y'all not journalists. Y'all a bunch of fucking yellow belly bitches. You should have immediately, the first thing after that guy said, only ask us about these weekend fights, I'd have been like, why is Greg Hardy with Rachel on the same card as Rachel Ossoff every weekend? That would have been the first thing they should have done. So, yeah, and Dave Madden says they don't want to be banned. I know the feeling. Yeah. And shout out to Dave Madden, Johnny Bones is in the comment section, Joey Tremendous, Raider, what up?
Johnny Bones.
Yeah, he okay. So Johnny Bones, like, I can't tell if he's a troll or he's like hanging out, like he's cool with us. Because
I hope he's doing some massive blow right now. Hopefully.
And getting his dick sucked by two white horses.
Hey man, if anybody's getting that, good for them. Shit. But Joey says Wilder won. I don't give a fuck. Joey, listen to that. Joey drinking that Brendan Schaub.
Calm down, Joey. I support Deontay too, but let's just fucking hope for a better showing in that rematch. You understand me? As a Deontay fan, in the rematch, we better hope some shit goes a little differently.
He wants to do that in that fucking stadium.
He should. Yeah. I think Deontay should go to London. Tyson Fury deserves it, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
He does.
I think Joey Tremendous is going off the Diaz Bros idea of a fight, right? We'll go into an alley and see who walks out. In that case, I'm pretty sure Tyson Fury lost.
Yeah, there you go. And then Raider says, I hope Joanna wins this weekend and runs around the octagon with her middle fingers up. That'd be funny. I don't think
ain't she lost to this broad twice in kickboxing?
Well, 3 times in Muay Thai, but this is an MMA fight, which for
some
reason. Yeah.
These curtains. Like, this is an MMA fight. Ain't nobody going to wrestle in this fight. Like,
right. If anyone
3 times.
Here's the thing: if anyone's gonna wrestle anybody, I think Bullet takes her down and chokes her out. She fucking finished Pena submission. So all right. Anyway,
on a side note, I'm sure we're gonna talk about that. I think that fight's a lot less competitive. I mean, look, I'm the worst in the world of predicting fights, but I feel like Joanna's gonna get that ass whooped, Jack.
We'll see, man. She also looks a lot like healthier and a lot happier. She looks really good right now, not having to cut the 115. And where she was like a 129 or 128, something like that. Fucking just like yesterday. So her weight cut's gonna be stupid easy. All right, real quick. So as far as what I felt about that Wilder Fury fight, I watched the first 5 rounds, and then I couldn't watch anymore for reasons. And so I watched the rest of it yesterday. I found the whole fight, and I watched every single round. And I agree that had anybody actually gotten the W, it would have been Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
Except And I don't know how you guys felt about this. And I thought about it right after I watched it. And then someone, I think I tweeted about it, and someone sent me the Deontay Wilder Instagram post. And I was like, okay, so at least I'm not the only one that thought so. Did anyone think that ref took his sweet fucking time counting on that? I think it was the second knockdown, the one where he was dead.
Yeah.
Sweet fucking time. And then once he got him up, like he almost like held him up and gave him like seconds to rest. Does that bother anybody else? Because I noticed it right away. I'm like, well, what the fuck? I don't know. Let him get back in there. Wilder's gonna finish this motherfucker. And no, they didn't let him. So did it bother anybody else? That was the one thing that I thought about.
So look, here's my opinion with that. First off, look, as a Deontay fan, if I'm being fucking honest,
sure,
it's a little flimsy.
Right.
I retweeted that video today. I watched it a bunch. We're talking about split seconds here, and here's the reality. Here's the truth of the matter. Deontay absolutely could have finished Fury in that fight. But the fact that he fucking windmills his arm sometimes cost him horribly. Because as soon as Fury did get up and the ref got away, Fury was still on wobbly legs.
Yeah.
And Tyson started in with the bullshit, or I'm sorry, Deontay started in with the bullshit, and he couldn't land properly. Had Deontay not got carried away and landed just one more good punch, he would have put Tyson Fury out. So at the end of the day, I still put it off on Deontay. He should have finished the fucking job. He had him hurt. I mean, if we redo the video, did the count start a cunt hair late? Man, look, maybe. You know what I mean? But whatever, man. Like, sure. it was on you to finish that fool afterwards, and you started in with this bullshit, and you hit him all around this, and you did it. If he would have hit him clean one more time, and that for that first like 15 seconds, Tyson was still hurt really bad. One good shot, and that motherfucker, not only would he have been out, but he would have been out on some outside the ring. Like, he would have been fucking out. But Deontay gave him another 20 seconds, and then he lasted the round and arguably won the rest of the round. So it's like, how bad? It's not like he got up and could barely move. I mean, the cute prick came too.
Yeah. So, I mean, other than that, Fury won that fight. And, like, I don't think it was as close as anybody else thought. But, look, man, when they have big fights like this that a rematch could be huge for, right? Especially when, Anthony Joshua is asking for, like, a, 70-30 or 80-20 split for a potential fight with him. You want the biggest possible fight to happen. So, I'm not surprised it went to a draw. There will be a rematch. The winner of that's going to be huge. And they're definitely going to get that Anthony Joshua fight, hopefully. That being said, I'm sick of fucking Anthony Joshua. Like, I'm not going to fight this guy because whatever bullshit little reason that his fucking manager comes out with. So it's I know it was probably the most interesting fight to me since Canelo Triple G2. So
there's a tweet out there, I think by the referee himself.
Oh God.
Or somebody else. I forgot who it was. I could look it up, but I don't remember. But basically, the whole 10 count is the referee's opportunity to evaluate whether a fighter can continue or not continue. Right. And it's not a legit like 10 seconds. It's basically just the referee giving himself an opportunity up to a 10 count to decide whether the fighter is in or out of this fight. Right. So that whole like starting the clock as soon as he hits the ground, all that stuff. I mean, that's just
it was too much. But like while I was watching it, I thought that was weird. But I really didn't like the ref holding Fury up, and you know what I mean. And right. And like Fury put his arms on him and shit. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Like, don't let him do that. What are you doing?
But that's like that slick boxing.
Right. That's a bet move.
That's that veteran like savvy right there of like.
100%.
Give yourself those extra seconds that you will Romero keeping the stool in the octagon type deal,
No, fully agree. So I mean, look, it was fun to watch. The rematch will be big, and again, hopefully it comes with a guaranteed Anthony Joshua fight. Otherwise, I'm probably not going to care too much for real. All right. What else do we have on the list here?
You wanna go straight to the Jesse Ronson thing?
So Jesse Ronson, yes, Jesse Ronson. And Jesse did the research for this right before the show started. Jesse Ronson stepped in for John McDessie against who's he fighting?
Oh, jeez.
Fuck, hold up. I probably have it somewhere. But regardless, he stepped in for John McDessie against Diego Ferreira.
Yeah, there you go.
For this weekend, right? So McDessie was out on November 27th. Okay. Ronson stepped in, looks like 8 days ago, according to MMAfighting.com. So 8 days ago, we replaced John McDessie to fight Diego Ferreira. So today, we get word that Ronson is not only out of this weekend's card, but has been cut from the UFC for being honest with the UFC and telling him that he came in a little heavy and that he was nervous about making weight.
Okay, just based on that fact, Fred, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about a fighter who's late replacement and knows that he's probably not going to be at his best if he even makes the weight, but he's more than likely probably not going to make the weight, and so he goes to the UFC and he tells them, "Hey, can we maybe get a catch weight and move on with this fight instead of me trying to kill myself to make the weight?" How do you feel about that?
How long? How long had he said yes to the fight before he came to the table?
8 days ago. And he was, I mean, you can imagine if he's 177 on Tuesday is what he said. I'll read the post in a minute. He was 178 on Tuesday. All right. 178 to 156 by tomorrow or by Friday night or Friday.
Listen. Here's the thing. On one hand, it's easy to say, well, what the fuck, right? He's a late replacement. Be happy you're getting anything. Be happy. You know what I mean? Like, as a late replacement, it feels like that's fucking fucked to hold a weight cut against a motherfucker who's making weight on 5 days notice or 10 days or 12 or whatever the case may be. That being said, just to play devil's advocate a little bit here, because I imagine we're all going to lean, MMA Twitter in general is probably going to lean on the fact of the big bad UFC being cunts here, which they probably are being. But to play devil's advocate, if you can't make the weight, then why even take the fight? Nobody asked you to put your hand up. And even if we did ask you to put your hand up, nobody made you take it. You could have just been like, nah, bro, it ain't no way. I ain't killing myself to make that weight. Nope. Push on to the next.
I agree with you, Fred, but the statement that Ronson put out, one of the things that caught my eye about the whole thing was that when he had his manager call Sean Shelby, the response he got back was, "No catchweight fight. Fight is off. Your contract has been rescinded, and you'll never fight for the UFC again."
Well, I mean, but hold on though. But let me throw that right back at y'all then. But what do y'all think? Why the fuck would he like? Why would they be that cunty about it? Like, well, I don't even know this fool's name. Did he fuck homeboy's girlfriend? Like what? Like, why would they be that? Like, what? Why would they come at him like that for presumably next to nothing?
I think both Eddie and I agreed on the fact of what Mike Russell on Twitter added to that whole story was being honest doesn't get you anywhere. So him going to the UFC and telling them, "Hey, look, I'm not going to make the weight. Please, like, let's try to make this a catch weight, whatever," is what ended up screwing him over. And me and Eddie were saying that. So basically it means, and it's telling everybody, if you don't think you're going to make weight, just keep your mouth shut and then miss the weight on weight day and then figure it out then. Because if you come to them beforehand, you're probably going to get fired.
Nah, but see, that's just the thing. I don't think that's it. I don't think he necessarily fucked Sean Shelby's girlfriend, but I do think there's something that we don't know about. I don't think that what you just said is malarkey and stupid. We can't. That's not. That doesn't make sense. Clearly, there has to be something that we're not seeing here.
Well,
I mean, the dude's coming in on short notice. What the fuck?
Like, and Sean Shelby. Well, go ahead, Jesse.
What I think it is, though, is and I could see where Fred's coming from, and here's where I think the UFC is coming from. You have a late replacement fighter saying, I'm gonna take the fight, I'll make the weight. And then he doesn't even try to make the weight all the way to the end. He's 20 pounds over, which we all agree is kind of heavy, but I mean, it's still doable, right? I mean, we've heard people do 30 pounds in a week. On Tuesday, he's 20 pounds over. And instead of attempting to make the weight, or at least, cutting it to the wire where it's like the last possible minute, where then he goes, "You know what, guys, I just can't do it." He's calling it off. What is it? What's today? Wednesday. So he called it off yesterday, I think it was. So, you know, he still had what 3 days of attempting to cut all that weight. And I think that's where the UFC is coming from. Like, dude, you didn't even try. Like, you probably could have made it. Maybe you could have made it, but you didn't even try. And now you're trying to get out of it. So I like, but again, it's a late replacement fight. So I'm going to go with, you know, the fighter side, you know, like that's unfair. He tried to be honest, but I could also see the UFC side saying like, hey man, like you didn't even try to make the weight.
Yeah, no, like, so because I'm reading his statement right now, right? So it's what he's put on Facebook. You know, he woke up on Tuesday at 177, ended up at 178 after a small meal, did a workout, an easy workout, came back down to 175, and that's when he went to Toronto for the check-in, right? I think check-ins were like I guess yesterday or today.
Tuesday,
And yeah, yesterday. And so I guess he spoke with someone from the UFC PI and a nutritionist, and basically after going over his, you know, the way he's been eating, his hydration, his supplements, etc. He says it was evident I wasn't going to make the 156 limit in my depleted state, and that I would only hurt myself doing so. And if I missed the fight, the fight could still be called off, and I look like a bigger idiot. Or it may happen, but I'll have done too much dehydrating. I wouldn't be able to fight with shit. So he suggested I see catch weight and inform the UFC. As a professional, that 156 wasn't going to happen. Be truthful and honest, and don't dick them around and see if they go for it. I told my manager all this. He called Sean Shelby, pleaded my case. The return answer I got was, quote, no catch weight fight. Oh, no catch weight. Fight is off. Your contract has been rescinded, and you'll never fight for the UFC again. End of quote. He goes, I'm slightly stunned and shocked still at the statement. It's aggressive, but you can't fuck around at the highest level, and I will still say thank you to the UFC for the opportunity. Hopefully this was just a heat of the moment, anger, talk / decisions, Mr. Shelby. Sorry I couldn't come through for you. Good luck with the show. Keep in mind that this is at the same time that they have Renato Moicano on fucking standby for good old Max Holloway. Like, Holloway's been pulled from fights twice. The first time was it the Khabib fight, right?
Yeah, the Khabib in New York.
Yep. In New York, that was understandable. He came in on like no day's notice, and they stopped him from making weight. The other one was the first time he tried to fight Brian Ortega, and he was, had like concussion symptoms. Remember he was doing that interview, and he was like slurring his words and like half asleep and shit. So there's a huge question mark about Max Holloway making weight. So they're all just waiting for fucking Friday to see if Max is gonna be able to make it. And then you come in with this shit like, hey, I'm not gonna make 156. Can we do a catch weight? One, the UFC doesn't have to do that. They don't. Was Josh ever aggressive with his response? Fucking absolutely. That's kind of fucked up. But that's kind of the game, and I kind of agree with Fred saying, well, if you knew you were going to be heavy, like why would you take the fight? You know what I mean? Like I get it, take the opportunity as it comes, but it's just weird. Like I do also feel like fighters that miss weight, that have good performances, get it forgiven. So if you're gonna miss weight, like miss it, come in, have a fucking huge performance, and then see what happens.
I honestly feel like there's just something we don't know though too. It feels
that's possible.
Come at him that sideways for being like, yo, I don't think I'm gonna make weight or something. Like,
but don't you think? Because we've heard this before, people going to the other fighter and going, hey man, like I'm not gonna make weight. What are you at? Let's make a catch weight, and then we both go to to the promotion and go, hey,
yeah.
And it seems like him going directly to Sean Shelby, and like Eddie said, we don't know what's going on, man. I hear a lot of rumors of Max Holloway not being well, his weight not going well. I mean, they must have all kinds of like just crap.
They're freaking the fuck out.
And so imagine some late replacement guy, like like not to be disrespectful to Ronson, but some nobody on the card is coming in and going, hey man, I'm not gonna make weight. Can we make it a catch weight? Dude, you're gonna be like, nah, go to hell, dude. Like I'm already dealing with stuff. Like we'll just find somebody else, or we'll pay this guy and do something else. Go kick rocks.
Right, and the other thing too that I could think of is one, maybe they went to Diego Ferreira like, hey, would you do a catch weight? And Diego was probably like, fuck all that, I'm not doing that shit. I cut weight, I made the weight. Why would I fight a guy that's gonna be so many pounds above me? Fuck that.
But still, for them to let him go from the fucking promotion is a bit. Like, you don't want to do that, so kick rocks, motherfucker.
Here's the other reason why. Here's the other reason why I think that may happen is maybe Sean Shelby called him up like, hey, look, dude, I got this fight. I know it's short notice. Can you make 156? And he goes, yes, I can do it. Are you sure? Are you sure you're going? I need you to make 156. Yeah. Maybe there was like heavy assurances on Ronson's part, and then he couldn't make it. And it just pissed off Sean Shelby. It's very possible.
But again, then moving forward, any guy that's having a late replacement fight, just don't say anything, right? Like the
At this
model is
point-
going to be just keep your mouth shut, try to get as close as possible. And when you hit that weight scale,
Shit.
just be like, I'm real sorry, man. Whoops, missed it. And
Think of the narrative, though, right? Think of what you're saying. Think of the narrative. He comes in, he's honest, boom, out, off the card. Comes in, misses it. No one's going to be like, oh, I can't believe you missed weight. It's going to be, oh, it's okay. I mean, you know, I get it. It's late notice, late replacement. You know,
Yep.
It's hard to do. And he'll be still be in the decent graces of people. Especially if he comes in and starches fucking Diego or something. And then they go, oh, he's good. He's all right. He's all right. You know, so. George Mendes says Ronson should not take the fight. And Raider says sounds like he has bad management. You know, maybe that manager doesn't understand the fight game completely just yet. All right. Let's touch on Greg Hardy, and then we'll talk about the makers, and then we'll talk about 231. All right. So Greg Hardy, we all know. What's up?
I said not watching it.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know, Jesse is actually legit about this. He will not watch Greg Hardy fight, and I totally understand that. So Greg Hardy, former Dallas Cowboy defensive end, he has been accused and all these things about of domestic violence. You know, allegedly threw his girlfriend on a beat her up a little bit, threw her on like a bed like covered in like machine gun or in long guns, long rifles, and a bunch of other crazy shit. I don't think he was ever like convicted, but it's not because because he wasn't guilty, but because the chick stopped cooperating with police, which is what I remember the whole story. So if there's anything else, put it in the comment section or correct me. But that's what I remember of it. So ended up on Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender fights. I believe he's undefeated as far as his MMA career goes. Mm-hmm. And now he's going to be fighting on the first ESPN Plus card, same card as one Rachel Ostovich, who was just assaulted like a month ago.
Yeah.
By her husband, who has not been arrested, and now that's going to go to the courts and everything. So,
who by as a matter of fact is also a fighter, or was also a fighter.
Yeah, her husband's also a fighter. So yeah, and so the whole thing is ugly. It looks really bad on the UFC. It reeks of no one was paying attention. You know what I mean? And sort of like incompetence. But what did you think of it, Jesse?
Man, it's just sad because you want to support someone like a Rachel Ostovich. You want to be like supportive of her, but like for me, I'm just not going to watch anything that Greg Hardy's on. It doesn't matter what the card is, who's fighting at the top, is just not going to happen.
You want to just skip that fight?
No, I'll skip the whole card because the only ability I have as a fan to affect anything is to not watch it, right? Is just to not give them my buying power. It's not like I can, stand outside the UFC office with a little sign saying something, that's not going to change anything. It's low ratings. That's what hurts them. So, I would encourage more people to do the same thing. But on the other side, it just sucks. And like you said, it's just someone asleep at the wheel trying to make a decision of, well, we have two good stories here. We have Greg Hardy, who's a big prospect, and we have Rachel Ostovich, who has big in the news, and we're gonna make a big splash with this. And it's just dumb. Like, so whoever put this together is just an idiot.
Yeah, real quick, I know here before we get to Fred. Anyone know about? Because I remember hearing Ostovich's like orbital bone was broken, and now she's fighting anyway. Like, how did she get cleared to do that?
Nah.
No, any clue on that?
Selective doctoring?
Maybe, but I'll tell you what, she gets in that fight and she gets cracked really good on the fucking eye socket. That's gonna fucking hurt in that fight real quick.
She's fighting Paige Van Zandt. It's not like she can crack.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess Paige can't punch that hard. So, all right, Fred, what do you think of that whole thing?
Oh man.
First of all, Fred, did you slide into the DMs yet?
No. I most certainly did not.
I'm disappointed in that response.
I most certainly did not. Listen, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. She's vulnerable.
100%.
That ain't how daddy gets down. You understand? I don't attack them when they're vulnerable. I got to let her get her confidence back before I slide in the DMs. Look, man, here's the problem with this. And I think Luke Thomas posted this on Twitter earlier. There's an event the very next weekend. There's like 3 events the next month and like 5 the month after that. There's like 10 events in the next like 2 months that he could be on. Furthermore, to my point, there's an event the very next Saturday.
Yeah.
Why not? Look, and maybe even this, like a lot of people, the obvious thing with that is saying, why not just move Greg Hardy's fight? Right?
Right.
Let's push this fight to next weekend. Okay, well, this fight, this one that we're talking about, this card is the first fight on ESPN, correct? I think that's right.
I think it's ESPN Plus, one of those.
So right, whatever. It's the splash on something.
Right.
So obviously, then we see where this is going. Then move Rachel's fight.
Yeah,
people be salty about that? Like, would that be like, why move her? Like, I mean, fucking do something. Like, I get people's point. You know, it's not a great look. And listen, let's just keep it a buck. Right now, it has a lot to do with the climate and the era we live in, the Me Too era. This isn't going to fly right now. Don't try to. There's no sense in trying to like big dick this one and be like, we're going to do it anyways, Jack. Fuck it. Y'all don't like that? We don't give a shit. People ain't feeling it. just fucking move it around a little bit, man. There's room for everybody. If you need Greg Hardy on that card, then see if pay Rachel a little more and have her move to the next card. Or fuck, move Greg to the next card. I mean, Rachel got a little bit of a buzz, and neither one of these characters are the main event. So it's not like Greg Hardy's fucking needed for that ESPN card. But come on, bro, do something. If y'all try to force this down our throat, look, I'm not Jesse, okay? I think if Greg Hardy did that, he's a repugnant cocksucker. But, you know, I have to really fucking pinch my skin to turn R. Kelly off the radio. It fucking is what it is. I'll watch the fucking prick fight. But I understand what people are saying. And in this new climate that we live in, the UFC has got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. Don't fight us on this. And by us, I don't mean me. I mean Jesse and his tribe. But don't do it. It's why do it? Just move it around a little bit. Sometimes you got to know when to just let the people have one. This is going to piss people off. And they've kind of got a point. Even if you disagree with it or you think it's not that. Even if Rachel herself is like, I don't really care. He's not the one that hit me. His story has nothing to do with mine. It's whatever. That don't matter, darling.
No.
We, and not just me, but like the MMA sphere, I seen how Twitter was reacting today. We ain't gonna have it. Now, I don't think most people are gonna put their money where their mouth is like Jesse, but you're gonna have a shitstorm leading up to the whole fucking fight. The night of the fight, you're gonna have a shitstorm of tweets. Why do that? Just give them what they want and move one of these people off this card, preferably Greg Hardy.
Well, Fred, but in the era that we are right now of, you know, what is it? If it bleeds, it leads. It doesn't matter what.
You're not allowed to say that no more, Jesse.
No, but think about it. What's the most controversial thing you can do? Exactly what they did. What's going to be happening that night? Twitter is going to be ablaze with everybody talking about it. You know, like to them, this is just, oh, okay, well, we're going to get a bunch of free promotion and people are going to be talking about our event.
What's that?
Money. What's
that old saying? Like all press is good press or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We about to test that theory out because this ain't about to be no good press, Jack. And let me tell you something. I, for one, think that he does get moved off this card.
I think so.
I think he does. I think that ESPN is not fucking Spike TV, Jack. I think once if this keeps going and Twitter keeps with this bullshit, and you got fucking who we got there on ESPN? What kind of pricks talk about sports over there? What do we got? Who's their fucking, you know, I don't know, 1st and 10, whoever the fuck's doing whatever the fuck. If they start talking about this, that's an issue. And ESPN will be like, Jack.
Hey, look, if I'm Stephen A. Smith and I'm First Take and Max Kellerman, I'm like, hey, let's talk about this.
Yeah, those fuckers and how they talk about it. If they start fucking cutting their own channel, fucking, you know what I mean? Like start talking some shit. I think ESPN will be like, look here, Jack. We're happy to be in business with the UFC, but this is the first fucking event, and y'all already got the goddamn hippie tree huggers breathing down our fucking neck. Cut us some fucking slack here. It's the first fucking event. Move that prick to the next card.
Okay, so what do you think is going to happen if the UFC does exactly what I think they might do, and do the dumb thing of moving Rachel Ostovich's fight? So how do you think that backlash would come at them?
I don't think it would. I don't think anyone would think about it, honestly.
Well, some people would definitely complain about it.
Some
people,
but not many.
Some people would definitely be like, well, why she got to move? You definitely going to have some crybabies. But I think it would pacify some. Not that I'm complaining either way, but it would pacify me to a degree. I mean, she's still getting her paycheck. It's the next weekend. She wouldn't be forced to see the guy. We can't. We live in a world where numbers matter and dollars matter. And if Greg Hardy's a bigger draw than Rachel Ostovich, then keeping him on that initial ESPN card might be smart for business.
You're right.
So, but like, Jesus fucking Christ, at least if they move her off the card, they can go, look, we're fucking trying, for Christ's sakes. At least they can say, then we hear what y'all are saying. We're trying to be understanding to the fucking situation. We just need this fucking womanizer for the ratings, which I know makes us soulless cunts, but at least we tried to throw you a bone and not rub it in her face. Which I don't know why they wouldn't do that, because like, why not? We don't need this storyline for the card. I mean, the card don't need this controversy, man. We're you know, it's gonna be fine. Fuck, now that this is going on, who is the main event of this card? I don't even fucking know.
I don't think it's set yet.
Oh, well, there you go.
So
exactly. Let's fucking put fucking Nick Diaz on there or something and be done with it.
Nick Diaz, 33.
The main event 35. Is Dana White fighting all the Twitter snowflakes coming at him for booking that card.
Man, the main event is realizing that DW is about to be out. Look, hold on. Side note, quickly.
Yeah.
Let me ask you all a question. This is a curveball completely. But how much longer does Dana White got in MMA? Because I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna jump in. Yeah, I'm gonna jump in on this right now first and say not long. I don't know if I'm gonna say a year or two, but I'm telling you right now, I don't think DW loves the way things are going. I think this Zuffa boxing's a real thing, and I think that within 2 years, I'll say, Dana White is no longer affiliated with the UFC, which will be very strange for all of us, I think. But I do think that's coming. I don't think that we're the only ones that looks at this clusterfuck in the UFC and goes, what in the fuck's going on? I think at the end of the night, Dana can't say it publicly because he's still their president. But I think one of these days we'll get a tell-all from Dana and he'll explain this time period. Be like, oh, I knew none of this was a great idea. Like, I knew it was, because I don't think Dana White is as stupid or as bad at this as what we think, or you know what I mean? Like, the UFC used to be a different entity, man. And I think Dana White's just kind of forced to say what they want him to right now, but I don't think that's going to last for very much longer.
Well, you have to remember too, when the UFC was bought out, everybody that wasn't basically Dana White was given, a was given a nice severance. They were given a good amount of money to just leave if they wanted to, or they could stay. And pretty much everybody that could have walked. We're talking about matchmakers. We're talking about people in the back. We're talking about just all kinds of people. And the only person that they needed to stay was Dana White. Now, I don't remember if initially they talked about what his contract was, but I do remember that he has a contract with them for a certain amount of years, and then he has a non-compete, and then he's free after that.
Yeah, Raider asked, she goes, isn't he on a 5-year contract from when they sold?
Yeah, see, I think it's something like that. I don't know if it was 5 years, but it might have been. So
it was something like that.
Where he's going to be there for a set amount of time, but then a non-compete for a certain amount of time, then he's free to do whatever he wants. Kind of like what they had with Scott Coker before. So, I mean, I agree with Fred. Once the deal is up, I'm sure Uncle Dana is going to be gone.
Yo,
I agree with that.
How crazy would that be? That in 2 or 3 years from now, we look up and Dana White's the president of Bellator.
Oh my God.
Or one championship. Like he flies the coop. Hey, yo, real shit. If that happened, if Bellator got DW and Scott Coker was like the vice president or some shit, like I would fucking be like, oh shit.
Right.
Like, y'all better stop playing with Dana White and Bellator. What the fuck?
All right. Next thing you know, Bjorn Rebney comes back, takes over UFC.
Oh my god!
It would be like the fucking WWE.
It'd be amazing.
Listen, I go bullshit. I'm here for it. That's what I am here for. Like, that would keep fucking MMA lit as fuck for me. All of a sudden, Bellator's a real competitor.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be crazy. Rita says on Ostovich being clear, she goes, she got a second opinion and they okayed her. So I guess she's been cleared by the doctors.
Yeah, like I said, selective doctors, right?
There you go.
Yeah,
That
UFC
doctor.
steroid doctors.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I think I'm with you. I think as soon as the contract runs out, he'll be gone. He'll take a nice year or two off. I don't know if like boxing's technically, competing against the UFC, maybe, probably, but if it's not, man, I'll tell you what, he's gonna try and make Zuffa boxing a real thing.
Y'all know his son boxes.
Yeah,
he does. Yeah, I don't know how good he is. I heard he's all right.
But and I mean, Lord knows the boy's got the best trainers money can buy. So I mean, I think I think Dana White's going to be doing something different in the next couple years.
Yeah. So and honestly, he probably should. I mean, there's no way that like I don't know how he's still alive with all the stress that he has to deal with all the fucking time. You know what I mean? Like, the buck stops with him. So
that's so strange to think that the UFC could actually be ruined.
It could be. Honestly, think about it. The UFC could end.
Yeah, it could. It could. I never thought that could. Now, MMA won't. Bellator or something would have to step up and take those fighters. But like now, at this point in time, I'm starting to think they could actually ruin this shit, man. They let enough fighters go. They make enough bad decisions. They keep in with these stupid, goofy things they're doing. They could potentially ruin the UFC. Dana White leaves. Like all of a sudden, none of the same characters are there. Dude, it's like having a good band and then replacing all the members. Y'all ain't the same no more, dog. We don't fuck with y'all the same way.
Think of it this way: like boxing went to shit for a long time, right? People got tired of it. People. I mean, it's still corrupt as shit, but people. There was no like big names to rally around. There's no big fights to rally around and shit. There was no like no real interest. So it went away, except to the hardcores for a long time. Now it's making a comeback. Great, and they're still fucking us with this whole draw shit for the last couple of huge fights, but the UFC could go away and MMA won't end, but MMA will definitely take a massive hit because I'll tell you what, you could try and get everyone to tune in to Bellator, and I just feel like because the letters aren't UFC on the cover of that shit, people aren't gonna care. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's one of those like you cut the head off a snake and someone else is gonna take over. Like I think it's one of those you cut the head off a snake, it's gonna be a while and it's gonna be some shit before you get back to that. You get another big promotion to take over. I don't know. It's interesting to think about. Now I'm gonna like really think about it, and maybe come up with a good theory for that. But
the UFC is definitely heading in a weird direction. For the first time, I can look at it and be like, "Wow, this is."
Would you say the start of that was when the Fertitta brothers sold?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And the thing is, Fred, you've been championing that idea for a long time. That the Fertittas, smart as they are, they saw the writing on the wall and they got out as soon as they could, And so did our ex matchmaker, what's his name?
Joe Silva, dog. That was for real talk. When Silva and the Fertittas went, the fucking heart and the soul. Yeah. And they left Dana White there just with no power, just a worthless headpiece. Like real. That was the change, man. That was complete change.
Again, under contract, basically chained to a sinking ship, basically.
Right.
Like everybody else was like, "Oh, we out," and Dana White was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go too." And they're like, "Nope, you're coming with us." Like,
Right.
You're part of the sale, and there's no sale without Dana White staying, and that's exactly what it was. Yep. Although again, like for the Fertitta brothers were probably like the bigger, like the actual backbone of the whole thing. How many fires did they put out?
It's crazy too because it'll be a very unique story at the end of it all because
right.
You had a sport that wasn't allowed on pay-per-view when porn was. Yeah. And then you had some real fight guys get into it, fucking completely change it. And then you had some entertainment guys come in and basically Hollywood bought the thing. Mm-hmm. And I think now we're getting to the point where Hollywood goes, okay, guys, we get this. We'll take Connor. We'll take John Jones. We'll take this one and that one, and we'll build these big, fantastic shit. But I don't think they get it. This fight culture shit is different. Like this isn't Hollywood. It's not the WWE. And just because they can run a big event here and there, I don't think they get the intricacies, what it would take to make this thing work day in, day out, month in, month out. Right. Like a lot of us don't like most of the cards they put on. Sometimes they put on, this weekend they have a very fantastic card.
Yep.
But this last weekend they had 2 cards that they can get back to the fucking Indians. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, no, it was this last weekend was rough. It really was rough.
I
And look,
apologize for that turn of phrase. That's a very bad turn of phrase. Get back to the Indians. But
no, I laughed about it. I was like, all right, yeah. Yeah, we probably should talk about this card, but let's just I don't know. I don't even matter. But fucking now I'm thinking about that phrase and it is kind of funny. Good.
No, I was just gonna say two quick things. First thing, shout out to our boy Adam Woods, who's been on our show before.
Oh yeah.
Was in an accident over the weekend. He's fine. He's doing better, but he got T-boned by some idiot running a red light. So everybody out there, be careful while you're driving. And then the other thing, real quick before we break down the card this weekend, Copa Combate this weekend. If you guys can on DAZN, check it out. It's the first sanctioned 8-man tournament here in California that's going to be going down, and the winner of the tournament is going to win $100,000 at the end. So definitely some life-changing money. Is something to check out. What is it? Andres Quintana, Marlon Gonzalez. That's the first fight. Alejandro Flores against John Bedoya. What is it? Joey Ruquette against Bruno Canetti. Pablo Villaseca against Daniel Requijo. So that's basically the first part of the tournament, and then it goes on from there. They have a couple other fights on the card.
Right.
They have some alternates. Just to make sure everything goes well. They have a women's flyweight fight. So definitely a good night of fights. So check it out if you can. The other thing that was announced today, I guess, by Campbell McLaren on Twitter, was the fact that now Combate Americas is gonna be. It has its own channel on Pluto TV. So if you don't know what Pluto TV is, it's basically this this service where you can watch television for free, certain channels. So Combate America now has a channel that's called Combate World, I believe. So you can go to Pluto TV and check out like some of their old fights, some of their old events. So finally, there's a place where you can go back and watch their old fights, their old events. So if you get a chance, go on there and check it out. Definitely an awesome thing, and hopefully we could get our friend Mike next week to talk about it a little bit more. But again, check out Copa Combate this weekend, $100,000 on the line, and then the Pluto TV thing, if you guys can check it out, also another great thing for you guys.
Yeah.
Hey, it's free. So free television.
Yeah. All right. So as of an hour ago, it looks like they have found a replacement for Jeff Ronson. We now have UFC newcomer Kyle Nelson out of Canada to take on Diego Ferreira. He's a lightweight. So yeah, there you go. So the card has not been finalized with 13 bouts for Saturday night. So as long as everyone makes weight, we'll have 13 bouts.
I know.
Even if Max Holloway misses, we got Moicano ready to make weight too. So, Moicano step chance is gonna be a weird thing to see, but whatever. All right. Do you guys want to talk about this last weekend?
Last weekend?
Yeah, I mean, we could touch on it. Like, what happened? We had
RDA lost to Usman. Usman fucked him up.
Can I just say real quick before we get into it, that whole fight, the thing that surprised me the most is how gassed RDA got in that fight.
He looked awful.
Yeah, I really thought that he would fix the wrestling problem, and it looked like his wrestling got worse. Or was it just me?
No, it was bad. It was bad.
I don't think, but to his defense, man,
Usman's a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, I don't think you can fix that. Like, Usman's just a goddamn fucking animal, and he's a great wrestler. And as much as I can't stand Colby Covington, so is he. To be fair, they threw RDA to the wolves, man. He basically fought the same dude twice in different skin. I said the same thing on the Loudmouth podcast, but it's true. Like, I mean, he fought Colby Covington, who did pretty much exactly what Usman did to him. I mean, they controlled him with wrestling, super aggressive. Those fucking type of wrestling pricks just don't get tired, especially when they're fighting their fight. The fight kind of went exactly how I think most people predicted it would, barring RDA landing a big shot.
Well, the problem I saw the most was the fact that RDA stopped listening to his corner basically after the first round.
And they knew it.
They kept telling him, like, don't back up to the cage, stay in the center, throw leg kicks, throw jabs, and the round would start, and he would just throw that out the window and just get taken, back up against the cage and get taken down. So, to me, it almost seems like whatever Colby did to RDA, it just changed him as a fighter, where he's not listening to his corner and he's being so defensive that it's hurting him to the point where Usman made it look easier than what Kobe did to him. At least with the Kobe fight, there was a little bit of, wrestling defense. He was able to avoid some of the takedowns and fight back. In this one, it was just like he got taken down and that was it. Like he was done for.
I think Usman's better than Kobe too, though.
100%. No, 100%.
I think he's a little stronger. I think he's a bit more of a physical specimen and shit. And I think that's just what it is. And I mean, look, you can't learn this wrestling shit over months. I mean, not we all, like we ain't in this. they all have a certain set of skills. You know what I mean? Everybody has their deficiencies. Like RDA, it's styles make fights, man. It fucking is what it is. Those pricks are tough stylistic matchups for anybody, and especially a cat like RDA that thrives on Muay Thai and BJJ and shit like that. Like that uber wrestle fucking style is kind of the anti RDA, man.
Honestly, RDA to me looks like he's RDA. Like, look, when he came out for the whatever, when he was in there, and just like Jesse was saying, he stopped losing his corner. I started calling him Bellator RDA. and people were watching the fight with me. Like, what do you mean? And I'm like, that looks like a Bellator fighter. No offense to Bellator fighters, it does not look like a UFC guy. Does that make sense?
All the offense. No, you're right, Eddie. But here's the thing. Even what you're saying, Fred, you broke down RDA perfectly. He's not very good at wrestling, but he's good at Muay Thai, kickboxing, his striking, right? And what's his name? Kamal Usman tied him up with some Thai clinches, and it looked like RDA kind of looked like Rich Franklin and Anderson Silva. Like he looked lost in the clinches. Like he didn't even look like his old self in the striking department, and he got outstruck by Kamal Usman. At the end, it looked like Kamal Usman was going to knock him out. So, I mean...
But here's the thing, too, though, man. And look, I was saying this earlier in his little jaunt, in the beginning of his jaunt at 170. He can fight at 55. He's a bad motherfucker, but he's not all that big. I think Colby and Usman was just like, welcome to welterweight, homeboy. These are some big fucking boys that have been wrestling for a long time that know how to, how fucking big Kamaru Usman probably is. Like that goddamn dude probably walks around at close to 200 pounds. He's probably a fucking shitload bigger than I am. You know what I'm saying? And just gets down there to 170. I mean, the dude, like, I think that was the thing. Like, in the clinch and shit, like, technique will take you a long way, but at the end of the day, a motherfucker that's just a lot physically stronger than you grabs a hold of the back of your neck, Jack. And it's not like Kamaru Usman don't know what he's doing. RDA's technique might be a little cleaner, but that dude's fucking just a lot stronger than you. There's only so much you can fucking do, man.
Okay, but let me point to the fact that he did fight and defeat Tarek Safadine, who's definitely a 170er, very good at striking. And, he couldn't do anything against RDA. And I'm not even going to mention Lawler because we all know Lawler has kind of been not the same since his fight. But Tarek Safadine is a legit 170er. He beat to hell a very gigantic Nate Marquardt. And he didn't look outsized or out anything. So I'm just saying that he has fought legit 170ers before.
Different fight,
better striking.
Different fight, though. It's that grappling heavy style at 170. Like, what's the prick's name you just said?
Tarek Safadine. No, Safadine. I get it.
He's
Fred,
a striker, so he chose to strike with RDA where that size doesn't wear on you as much. Kamara and fucking Colby were just putting that size right on him right from the jump the whole fight. And I think that's, and I mean, Robbie's. It's the same kind of jive. It's the wrestlers use that weight to their advantage in a major way, where with a striker, unless they land a clean shot on you, you don't really feel that extra fucking 10, 15 pounds. With fucking Kamar and Colby, he felt that 10, 15 pounds the whole fucking fight.
But the thing I'm pointing at is that Kamal Usman outstruck him. Wrestling in those exchanges, like he actually stood in front of RDA and threw strikes with him and outstruck him and like almost like put him to sleep. That's what I'm saying is like the worst thing about this. He stopped listening to his corner and then he just got eaten alive by Kamal Usman.
What's your Mexican
Shit.
No, I think
All right.
it's gonna be something about my Mexican heritage or something.
Oh, Kane. Your brother Kane said, "Fatigue makes cowards of us all." I think it was tired, man. When you get tired, you get. That's why fucking Connor got thumped up by the beat.
Yep. Possibly. Probably part of the yeah. All right. The other fight. Well, first of all, fucking sucks to see Mark Hunt lose. What are we gonna do? But JDS wins against Taito Ivasa. That was a sick little finish there.
Good stuff. I've been saying that people are way too hard on JDS. Like people are ready for him to like retire and shit. I just don't get it. Like I think he's just fine. Like he's taken a few beatings in his day. I mean, he's been knocked out a couple times, but he's a heavyweight. He's got a lot of fights. Like I don't know. I've never seen. What
is it weird for you that everybody wants JDS to retire, but nobody's asking Alistair Overeem to retire?
Yeah, that is weird, isn't it? Like that's what I mean. Like, and sure, whatever, keep Alistair around too. But if anybody would get, you think maybe or Shogun, like,
yeah,
Jesus fucking Christ, like a whole bunch of these cats should be fucking gone by now.
I think Eddie.
Okay,
now
it's Eddie's turn. Eddie definitely died this time for sure. What the
fuck? Fred, tell me, what was your standout of the whole weekend? Like, not talking about the boxing, but of all the fights that was over the weekend, what was your standout performance?
Well, I tell you what, dude. I didn't see none of the Bellator shit.
Right.
So I didn't see any of that. Yeah. Okay. So there's a few things here, right? I low key want to say Shogun. But I'm reluctant to say that because I don't want to see Shogun ever fight again. I'm impressed that he actually fucking pulled it out. He actually won. I can't fucking believe that, low key. So that is uber impressive to me. I thought Shogun was as washed up could possibly get, and the cute fucker actually pulled out a W in somebody else's home fucking town. So I don't want to give him any fucking chance to stick around, but that was impressive, or maybe just surprising, I guess might be a better word than impressive, but
right.
Either way, I'm going with that. I thought Shogun was going to get trounced again for sure. He almost did in that fucking first round, but bigger than the shit, the cute little prick came back and actually got a fucking knockout win. I hope to God he just retires, but I know he's not gonna. So
he won't. He probably thinks he can still fucking keep go.
Oh yeah, he's a title contender. Yeah. He's fucking delusional. But listen, fair enough. Give him fucking whoever the fuck, and he's gonna take a beat.
Eddie, the same question to you I posed to Fred. Like regarding all the fights, not boxing, excluding boxing. What was the standout fight or fighter for you this weekend?
Standout fighter
or fight?
Oh man, other than boxing.
Yeah, other than boxing. In case you happen to watch Bellator.
No, I didn't.
None of us watch Bellator.
Look, man, when you guys know this just as well as I do. When you got kids, you ain't got time for Bellator. Like you got time for one thing, and I had time for I had some time for Wilder Fury, and I had a little bit of time for UFC Australia. So, or not Australia? Was it Australia? Yeah, Melbourne, right?
Yeah,
right. Wherever it was. So, no, I want to say JDS, man. I think JDS, like I said, everyone's been wanting to retire or go to Bellator, whatever the fuck, and finally he's basically stuck the finger out there, like, you guys go fuck yourselves, I can still fight. And I didn't like that he didn't throw out a name. No, he did throw out a name. He wanted the Overeem rematch.
Right.
I'm good with that. Let's do that. JDS.
Oh. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Look, man, neither one's gonna fight for a title anytime soon. Give him the fucking rematch. Why not? Last time it was, roid out fucking Overeem. Let's go with regular Overeem. See what happens.
Old man Overeem.
Old man Overeem. All right. let's talk about this weekend real quick before we head out of here because it's getting late. We're almost almost turned into a pumpkin there for a minute. Yeah. So 13 fight. Obviously, as long as everyone makes weight. 13 fight bout or card. 13 bout card for this Saturday. Prelims, a UFC Fight Pass on 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Devin Clark against Alexander Rakic. Diego Ferreira against Cal Nelson. Chad LaPriest against Diego Lima. Brad Katona against Matthew Lopez. That's your Fight Pass. Yeah, I almost call it your ESPN, but it's soon enough I'll be saying ESPN prelims. But your UFC Fight Pass prelims. Then, excuse me, Ep.124 prelims is Eric Anderson against Elias Theodoro, which actually is going to be
good fight.
Low-key fire as fuck. Caitlin Chukagian against Jessica Ai. Olivier Aubin-Mercier against Gilbert Burns. That's some jiu-jitsu in there for your ass.
Right.
Yep. Nina Ansaroff against Claudia Gadelha. Another like low-key good fight.
Look, the first four. Sorry to cut you off, Eddie, but the first 4 fights on Fight Pass are decent. But after that, this fucking card gets cooking with some real bacon grease to keep it a buck.
Yeah, I gotta make it home in time to catch some of that shit. I don't make it. I'm gonna be home for the main card, but again, fucking kids, bro. All right, main card kicked off by Jimmy Manuwa against Thiago Santos. Thiago Santos used to be a 185er. Now he's a 205, taking on a real fucking 205er who probably should be a heavyweight. This is gonna be a good ass fight. Let's just do picks for the fucking main card. Who are you picking there, Jesse?
It's Thiago Santos against who again?
Thiago Santos against Jimmy Manuwa.
Oh, that's such a good fight. I'm gonna go with Santos.
Okay.
I think since his last fight was against what's his name, right? The two-time or the 2 division champion from whatchamacallit, right?
Yeah. David Branch.
David Branch, yeah, there you go. So I'm sure he's probably pissed and steaming from that. Yeah, David Branch. So I think he's gonna come back and beat the hell out of poor Jimmy Manuwa. So
all right, Fred, your pick.
Well, Jesse, you just made this pick easy for me. You just said it. If David Branch can knock you out, goddamn British Mike Tyson's gonna kill you, Jack. Jimmy Manuwa won.
Damn, I'm a Thiago Santos believer. Mostly because Jimmy Manuwa just seems to fuck it up at the wrong time. Every time he's this close to a title shot, he fucks it up. All right.
Yeah. Good thing we ain't that close to the title shot right now, baby.
Good point. You know what? Good point. Yeah, even if he wins this shit, like impressively, he's not gonna get it. All right, moving on. Kyle Bochniak against Hakeem Dawodu.
Way to butcher that one. We're gonna go with Bochniak on this one because we're hip to him.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Bochniak. I don't know. I don't remember Dawodu for some reason.
Although to keep it a buck, if a guy's making his UFC debut, or if we don't recognize his name on a main card, we should probably pick him. Because somebody probably knows some shit we don't. Like that motherfucker's probably there for a reason.
I used to go there when it was like that, when Joseph was around, I would pick the new guy. But now that it's Sean Shelby, I'm like, I don't know. But whatever. Jesse?
I'm going with Dawodu, I believe is his name. I think this isn't his debut. I think it's like his 2nd or 3rd fight in the UFC.
Oh shit.
If I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure I've heard that name before. I could be wrong. I could be mistaking him. You know, those really complicated names.
Eddie butchered his fucking name. How are we supposed to know who the kid even is? Fucking Eddie's over there fucking slandering his good name.
Look, man, English or Spanish. That's what I'm good at. All right. Moving on to the next fight. Gunnar Nelson against Alex Oliveira. Gunny's been gone for a minute. Alex Oliveira is coming off, I think, a pretty fucking solid ass win.
The Brazilian cowboy, right?
No, that's Charles.
No. Is it?
Yeah. Charles Oliveira is a Brazilian cowboy.
No.
Oh, fucking Charles Oliveira is the fucking Bronx, right?
Yeah, Du Bronx.
So who is this? This is the fucking cowboy.
Yeah, this is the cowboy,
right?
I'm gonna check this shit real quick. Fuck
I'm pretty sure it's the Brazilian cowboy. I was just making sure. Well, these fucking Brazilians got some sneaky names, Jack. They all won't be a fucking racist or nothing, but be confusing me, Jack.
No, Fred, you're right.
You're right. It is the Brazilian cowboy. All right,
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
This is a good fucking fight too. What the fuck? The Brazilian cowboy ain't fucking nothing nice. Cute cocksucker looks like a rattlesnake or something, but he's fucking mean.
All right, and Gunnar Nelson, I can't see when he fought last, but it's been a minute, right?
I think wasn't his last fight against the model, what's his name?
Yeah. Fuck, what's his name? I'm gonna pull it up right now and be super pissed off right now.
Yeah.
Gabon. No. He left. No. That was his last win. March last year. July last year is his last fight against Ponzinibbio, and he got K'd the fuck out.
Right. That's what I thought he lost his last fight. Yeah, old Ponzinibbio.
I like Cowboy in this one. Who are you picking, Fred?
I like Gunner. I like Gunner Nelson. I think he's a talented kid. But this will be this is one of the rare good matchups in the new UFC.
Yeah.
This is a very good matchup. It's a good fight for both guys. It's a good fight to see if Gunner's actually, that Ponzinibbio, if you remember going into that fight, man, Gunner was kind of that dude, man. Fucking karate style, super slick on the ground, training with Connor, lots and lots of hype. Got thunderstruck by Ponzinibbio, and a lot of that shit went away. But yeah, if he can come back and actually like submit the Brazilian Cowboy, this is like a real,
that's something.
Like, yeah, this actually matters. It's a real test.
Definitely. Jesse?
I'm gonna go with the Brazilian. I think his jiu-jitsu is pretty slick. Like you guys are saying, this is gonna be a good matchup. So we'll see how Gunnar Nelson bounces back from getting KO'd.
Yeah, no, we're for sure. All right, co-main event, fucking solid ass fight in the eyes of many, but I'm not convinced it's gonna be a crazy fight, but hopefully it is. For the women's flyweight belt, Valentina Shevchenko against Joanna Jędrzejczyk. They fought 3 times before in Muay Thai years ago. For some reason, Joanna thinks it's gonna be different because it's MMA. Like she's gonna fucking sub anybody. Meanwhile, Bullet has subbed a jiu-jitsu specialist. I'm going with Bullet here by like devastating finish of some sort. I don't think I honestly don't think it's a close fight. I don't. Jesse, who are you picking?
Damn. Just because I know what you guys are picking, I'm gonna go against the grain here. And I'm gonna go with JJ getting that championship belt, two division champion JJ. I you know what? I'm gonna make the argument here, even though I agree with you guys. I think Valentina should take this fight, and I think it'll probably be just a sustained beating. But just to argue the point, I think Joanna is gonna look better, feel better at this higher weight class. 10 pounds is a lot, and I think not depleting herself the way she had before. I think that's going to make a big difference for her, and I think she's going to have pop back in her hands, and she's going to finish this fight knockout.
Look, yeah, I mean, to play devil's advocate and argue Jesse's point, because I agree with Eddie, you know what I mean? But like, JJ it could be different this time. It could be different this time. You could say that she never knocked her out in Muay Thai, right? It always went to a decision, correct?
Right.
I'm pretty sure they were all 3.
Yeah. I think it was in knockouts.
No, yeah, I'm almost positive she never knocked her out. So, one could make the point that maybe JJ learned a lot from that. If I'm not mistaken, Joanna's been doing MMA longer.
Right.
She made the transition before Shevchenko, right?
I believe so.
I think so too. So maybe there's something to be said there. Maybe she does understand this game a bit more. Maybe those Muay Thai fights won't fucking matter one bit, and this will be maybe it will be a completely different atmosphere. I'm not fucking willing to bet my money on it, but I'm not. Look, one thing I love about this, I reluctantly call it sport, is it for me and my money, it's the most unpredictable sport on planet Earth. That's why I don't really like doing fight. I mean, this, we'll do them and this is fun and shit. But like at the end of the day, don't fucking listen to me, Jack. Like you never fucking know. Like I would imagine Shevchenko should win. She'd have whooped that hoe's ass 3 times, doing what they're probably going to do again, which is stand and trade. So one would imagine what changes on the time for. But like I have seen a lot. You know what I mean? They might come out and Joanna might drop her with the first fucking exchange. And then boom, hops on her back, chokes her out, and within 30 seconds, the fight's over. Highly doubt it, but stranger shit has happened. You know what I'm saying? We have all seen a lot stranger shit. So I'm picking Shevchenko, but I would not be surprised. I would not be flabbergasted if this fight was a lot more competitive, or if Joanna even fucks around and wins.
All right. I mean, shit. And look, dude, I just think it's too one-sided. I don't see Jonah winning. I just don't.
I agree with you.
Yeah. All right. Main event. Whatever.
Ultimately, yeah.
Okay. All right. Main event. Should everyone fucking make it healthy all the way in? Because remember, Ortega's had hard-ass weight cuts too. Max Holloway against Brian Ortega for the belt. With Renato Moicano and lurking in the background, waiting to see which one doesn't make weight, or if anybody. It's a fun ass fight. The weird thing is, I mean, I know Max Holloway's like the super slight favorite, but I didn't realize that Brian Ortega is older.
I thought Max Holloway was a slight underdog.
I don't know. Last I heard, he was a slight favorite, but that was like I was watching the Rogan podcast this morning with Doug Jitsu Master, but that's what they said. He was a slight favorite. So I don't know.
Way,
it could change within hours.
It's going to be a very close line, regardless.
Sure.
Pets are
right.
It should be
super, yeah, like closely matched.
All right, so this is a hard one to pick, in my opinion. But who are you taking there, Jesse?
Well, he's slightly Mexican, so I'm gonna go with Brian Ortega. I just think that
pretty fucking Mexican, right?
Yeah, actually, he's almost full Mexican, isn't he?
Yo, he so reminds me of that fucking dude from Blood In, Blood Out. He's the fucking white boy that's like Mexican but looks white.
Yeah, dude, I've heard that before. I've heard that shit before.
He's that guy. Every time I see him, I think about that fucking dude from that movie.
I just think honestly, I've been looking at Max Holloway's interviews this week, and it doesn't look good, man. In my opinion, it looks like Max Holloway might be already, a little wonky. Rough. I was listening to one of his interviews the other day, and that slurring thing that he was doing on that, what was it? On that interview with Michael Bisping, he was doing that again in that interview. So I don't know, man. I'm just not convinced that Max Holloway is at 100% here, and I think Ortega's going to take it just because of that. Just because, and not to take anything away from Ortega, but I'm saying that Max Holloway is compromised, and he's going to be able to take advantage of that.
What are you picking, Fred?
I am picking Ortega too. Obviously, this is a super close fight. Holloway could obviously win for sure. I just think that, look, Max beat Jose twice, which is very, very admirable and deserves the credit that he gets for it. That being said, Jose's a bit long in the tooth. Brian Ortega is in the fucking prime of his life. He's a great martial artist. And the thing that I like about Brian Ortega, why I give him the edge in this fight, is he's a fucking devastating finisher. Max Holloway is more of a, I'm gonna eventually get you. I don't care if it's round 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna keep coming. I'm gonna keep sticking you. I'm just gonna keep nipping at you until you eventually give up. And Brian Ortega is more of a fucking slice your fucking head off. Like, I'm gonna catch you with something and then this shit's over. Like, I'm gonna catch you with a kick or a punch, or I'm gonna grab a hold of your neck and then that's it. There is no round 3 or 4. I'm not waiting for you to get tired. Like, the first time Max slips up, this fight's over. And I think Max slips up. Max is a great fighter, but he gets tagged. He gets put in back. That's part of his appeal, is that he's able to get put in the fire and come out. But my issue with that is that's a dangerous game to play at the highest level. Eventually, you get put in that fucking fire and you burn. And I think this is the time where he gets stuck in the fire. Brian Ortega is too dangerous. I mean, who the fuck thought we'd see Frankie Edgar get knocked out? You know what I mean? Like, that's some serious fucking shit, man. And you know what? I hate to be this type of a fucking cunt, but I do want to give a slight shout out to the fact that we did catch this cute little prick cheating before too.
Which one?
He tested Brian Ortega.
Oh yeah, for what did he test positive for?
It was steroids, man.
Yeah, it was steroids.
It was, and it was like after his second fight in the UFC, and he did come out and say, "Look, my bad. I did it. It'll never happen again. I got influenced by the wrong people." So, I respect that. On the same token, don't. I'm not trying to be a two-way dick about this, so I got to call him as I see him, motherfucker. I know you cheated that one time, and I know you're undefeated like John Jones, y'all motherfucking cheating motherfuckers. So I'm picking you, pretty boy. But goddamn it, I got my eye on you too. And goddamn it, that's it. That's your one. John got his fucking dick pills thing. I'm through with him now. Goddamn you, Brian Ortega. If we so much as catch what that bullshit John said, a pinch of salt, I don't give a fuck. There's a grain of salt.
Fuck.
I'm getting you the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You're on real fucking thin ice with me, buddy. But other than that, the cute little prick is fucking dangerous, and I think that Max will make a mistake. and Brian Ortega will capitalize on it.
There you go. On the YouTube comments, we got someone called David Copperfield's love child says, Fred, Ortega's Wado from Blood In, Blood Out. I have Max be a TKO round 2.
What a motherfucker. He gave him the Wado title and then he picked Max?
Yeah, he picked Max. All right. I'm going Brian Ortega. I mean, besides the fact that he's, Latino, Mexican.
Because he's Latino.
But the jiu-jitsu aspect to me is like once he like Fred said, once he grabs you, he's got you. He's not letting you go. You're not getting a second chance in this game. Max does get tagged quite a bit for my liking. And as young as even though he's younger and as good as he's been in his career, he's taken a lot of damage. The weight cut's fucking with him. I think Brian Ortega takes that belt Saturday night, whether it's him or Moicano. And I think Max Holloway moves up to 155 for the rest of his career. And he should. He's too big. He's too big. Just too big. And Ortega might be on his way to that too, by the way. He might be on his way to 55s as well. But yeah, I think so. It's going to be all three of us taking Brian Ortega. It's going to be a fucking sick fight, though. I'm looking forward to it. This is a good-ass card. Straight up kind of snuck on everybody. Especially with this last weekend, it snuck up on everybody. So,
goddamn Combat Sports Arena's got us out here robbing banks, cocksuckers. Cost me fucking $70 for fucking Wilder Fury. Now the UFC is going to milk me for another fucking 65 or 70 for this shit. I swear to God, man. You got to be a goddamn crack dealer to be a fucking Combat Sports fan these days.
I'm telling you, dude, just get a VPN or just get a bunch of friends together and do this shit.
Listen, I'm not bullshit you. Fucking get one of them goddamn fire sticks. I'm tired of being the only asshole I know paying for all this shit.
Hey, man, I got the
alleged these nuts. Go fucking yourself, motherfuckers. Tell Amazon to stop selling the fucking things.
There you go. All right, fellas. Anything else you guys want to hit before we go?
Yeah. And a shout out to who was supposed to be our guest. What is it? Ashley, the MMA nerd. Follow her at the @the_MMA_nerd. She has a podcast where she breaks down the fights. Pretty interesting stuff. Obviously a different perspective than all of us here. So check her out, and hopefully maybe she'll be able to join us next week. And then hopefully you guys are all gonna check out Copa Combate, like I said, and go check out Pluto TV. It's free, guys. And then
get it on your phone.
Of course, Fred's show, always a blast to listen to. And Eddie, who's been, MIA from his morning tote. So once he puts one up,
kids,
that'll be great.
Fucking kids.
Yeah, right. Listen, I feel it. And listen, quickly before we go, if anybody's still with us, and just for you guys too, we're going to do 1 or 2 more shows before the year's up with the Gym City Jesus shit. But then after that, man, coming in the new year, we're going to revamp and do some different shit, man. We're going to be looking at some little spots downtown. We're going to try to get a little studio, and we're going to do video. So we're going to have like a little YouTube setup type thing. Yeah, man. We're gonna revamp a little bit after the new year and come back with video. I think it'll make a major difference and shit.
Damn, the Gem City experience over there.
Yeah, man, we're gonna hook it up to where you guys can actually, yes.
Right, he's right. Like that's huge for like a show like your guys is right. Like you could get used to the voices and get to know everybody, but seeing it is different.
It's gonna make a major difference, man. It's gonna make a major difference. So
can't wait for that shit. Yeah. Anything else?
Nope. That's it. I think, man. Just look, this weekend, very, very good card. So everybody tune the fuck in, and obviously next Wednesday we'll be here to break down all the madness.
There you go.
Real quick, I always try to leave you guys with a recommendation when I find something. Fight World on Netflix. If you
I started it.
Go check that out. It's a great series. Frank Grillo is a badass, but it's a great series. So check it out if you haven't seen it yet.
All right, and then Narcos Mexico. It's
dude,
what badass. The fuck is going on? I'm like almost done with it, but I'm like already losing my shit. I always find myself rooting for the bad guys. Like I was like rooting for Pablo, even though I knew he was gonna die, and I know how this one ends too. But I'm rooting for the bad guy. Like I don't know, whatever. All right, so shout out like I said, shout out Ashley, the MMA nerd. That's at the @the_MMA_nerd. Her show is the MMA Nerd Podcast, available on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. So make sure you guys hit that up. You can follow Kirby at Kirby_MMA. Jesse's at Spot1983. I'm at Ela31. The show is at Keyboard MMA. Shout out to Represent, RipTheWarriors.com. Get yourself some gear. They got a lot of good fire, like fucking solid ass shit. They got that new gi on there too. So good ass brand too. Control Industries is the shit. All right, and then so RipTheWarriors.com and then SpicesPros.com. Especially if you're start getting your Christmas eats ready to go. Get your seasonings ready. It's good shit. All right, guys. For myself, Fred Kirby, Jesse Rakaba, everybody, y'all the shit. You guys are awesome. Thanks for rolling with us. Catch you guys next week. Good night, Wilshire.